In a shocking incident, a 2-day-old baby boy has gone missing from the KLE hospital in Belgavi. The mother, who has been robbed of her baby, has sought help from the authorities to trace her child. She's also stated that she will not leave the hospital until she gets back her baby. From all this, I'm joined in by my colleague Arun. Arun, there was another incident that took place of a baby being stolen from the same hospital. Now, are we saying that this is the second such incident over here?
Nolan, remember, this is a private hospital. It has got a name of its own. It's a very popular hospital.
Very true.
And this particular woman in question is actually a resident of Masgaon village in Belgavi Taluk. Now, what we know is that this woman had given birth to a male child on July 22nd, after which a person in the guise of a nurse seemed to have come there and taken away the baby, saying that some ECG tests have to be undertaken. So when the child, after the child was taken away, the child has till date not been returned back to the mother, and the mother is extremely distraught. That's the reason why she's been demanding that action be taken against the erring staff and the child be reunited with her. But in the process, what seems to have...
Arun, thank you very much for all those details.
We have, on the basis of the circumstantial evidence, on the basis of the confessional statements and other supporting evidence, our team led by our Joint Commissioner, Mr. Sharat Chandra, and particularly led by our DCP Crime, Mr. Abhishek Goel, and the entire team have detected this particular case and have gathered evidence and have confirmed to ourselves that in this particular incident, these two persons, one by name Lal Giri, his age is 21 years, and he is a gymnastics teacher in Vibgor High School, and also Wasim Pasha, who is also a gymnastics teacher. Both have been found to be involved in this particular offence, and they have been arrested, interrogated, and now we'll continue to interrogate them based on police custody, which we'll seek before a magistrate. As far as Mustafa Pasha is concerned, the initial suspicion was on him in terms of the conduct, the behavior, and some amount of circumstantial evidence, and the kind of material that was found on in his personal possession, etc., also indicated to such a tendency. As we moved on in the investigation, as you may understand, we held a POCSO case training session yesterday, and experts were speaking, and some of you are present there, that in a case where a child is a victim, it is not the same as an adult being a victim. The clarity, the vividness, and the logical coherence with which an adult would report a crime is entirely different from how a child reports a crime. Therefore, I must appreciate the efforts put in by our team, led by Abhishek, that they've gone very sensitively about this case. They've used very sensitive methods, and through other people they have tried to glean this kind of information from the child victim, and have been able to place before us a cogent, circumstantial and confessional statement-based evidence that led us to these two culprits.
So is he involved or?
In the actual incident, on that particular day, our evidence suggests that these two people were there. But we do not rule out if by any chance any connection was there or any kind of contact was there, which how people are still young in investigation. As they move on, they will identify. Incidentally, there is a. I would ask, request my Additional Commissioner, Law and Order, to brief you also about another case that has been registered against Mustafa yesterday. Yesterday.
Against Murtaza, yesterday in Whitewood Police Station, we have registered a case under POCSO Act. The incident has taken slightly earlier, but since it has come to our knowledge, so it was our bond duty, and under that POCSO Act we have booked him, and the investigation is on. Under that also, like committing offence in Dean's School, and he was working there in Dean's School. So that Dean's Academy in Whitefield limits. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ದಾಖಲು ಮಾಡಿ ನಿನ್ನೆ ವೈಟ್ಫೀಲ್ಡ್ ಪೊಲೀಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಯಾವಾಗ ಡೀನ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಆ ಟೈಮ್ ಅವರು ಕೆಲವು ಅನುಚಿತ ವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಕೇಸ್ ಈಗ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಅದರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಕೂಡ ಏನಿದೆ ಈಗ ತನಿಖೆ ನಡೆದಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಮುಸ್ತಫಾ ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಇದು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಇದು ಇನ್ನೋಸೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಕೇಸ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಅವರ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ.
ಅದು ಪೋಸ್ಕೋ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
So, get some clarity now. You have arrested 2 more people, but you've not ruled out Mustafa's involvement as well. But another case, you've charged him with whatever crimes were in his previous place of work. That is being
POCSO. That also is there.
But in this incident, you're not ruling out that he's directly involved, but he might have had some.
We have ruled out that he is direct involvement, because the way the incident has happened, the evidence that we have collected clearly shows that there were 2 people, and these are the 2 people.
What time this gymnastic class got over on that day? What was the timing? At what time?
I think that it would be best if we keep the details of the crime that occurred and the investigation, that the details that it has revealed. Rest assured that we have understood the case well, and we have found out the evidence that has thrown up this particular thing.
No, sir. Actually, there is a contradiction between what Home Minister has earlier said and what the police is saying right now.
May I request you to go by what we are saying now, because Honorable Home Minister must have mentioned things at that point, relevant point in time, based on the inputs provided by us. But as I would like to impress upon you, particularly when a case involves a child, there needs to be a lot of sensitivity. B, there is a lot of vagueness about it from an adult perspective when we look. We feel that it's vague, why is it not clear, etc. But in a child's case, particularly that of a sexual offense, the kind of trauma that the child would go through would definitely not yield us a kind of a clear-cut, crystal clear description of the incident. So we have to glean it. We have to come around to it. We have to get the victim to come around to explain to us over a period of time. That's why the
Sir, actually earlier it was claimed that one of the teachers locked up the child inside a dark room. And then
those details, I think I'll ask the DCP. You will get clarity from it.
Yes. See, as sir has already pointed out, a lot of details were mentioned in the FIR complaint which was given by the father of the victim. So those were the details which were gleaned by the mother from the victim, and then later on passed on by the mother to the father. So as sir has already pointed out, she's a very small child, 6-year-old child, who had undergone the trauma of a sexual assault, and she had reported this incident after a gap of many days to her mother, which was subsequently told by the mother to the father, and subsequently the complaint was given. So we have given a much longer rope to the complaint, in the sense that had adults given a complaint, we might have zeroed in on the exact time and the place mentioned in the FIR, but we have been very sensitive in this case. We have looked at a much broader frame of time as well as place, and try to go in a very, very systematic manner, so as to find out what exactly happened, because there is always a possibility that what the child told after a gap of some time, and the child was obviously traumatized. So there is a possibility that there could be slight variations in the time and the place of the incident